Yeah. Welcome to Weddings Uncensored, where we drink and talk and talk and drink.
We are here to break down the good, the bad, and the downright crazy of this whole wedding industry. I'm Allie.
I'm Kyle.
Cheers.
Cheers. We didn't fuck up the intro. Thank God.
You think we'd be getting better at this by now, but you win.
Okay.
You win
It's
some,
okay.
you lose some.
It's okay. It's fine.
We are talking about getting the most bang for your wedding buck today. Yes.
Bang for your buck.
You know, we talk about budgets, we talk about managing expectations, we talk about prioritizing things that are important in the planning process. And I mean, again, everyone has some kind of budget, right? So what can you spend your money on to make a bigger impact to your guests, to your planning experience, just to make a whole fucking thing a little bit better and easier?
Yeah, just to have fun. I think that's just have fun on your wedding day.
Yeah.
You and your guests. That's the priority. If you can have a shit ton of fun and your guests can have a shit ton of fun
We've done
and
something
remember it, we did something right. You did something right. You planned something correct. You had great ideas and it was executed well.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
Let's talk about, I guess we're talking about bang for your buck specifically in regards to the couple first. You guys, the listeners, you who are getting married, what are things that you can do to get the most bang for your buck?
So I think it has a lot to do with vendor selection, right?
Yes.
As kind of like a general term, but hiring the right people is going to ensure that you have a good experience, not just on the day, but, you know, planning and leading up to it.
Yeah. And I mean, just to say for vendor selection too, it's not just a vendor that has quality work.
Yeah.
And that work that you really enjoy, but also who you are going to enjoy spending time with.
Yes, absolutely.
Hair and makeup is probably the first vendor that you're going to see in the morning. Maybe sometimes even before the planner, before photo video.
Yeah.
Hair and makeup's going to be all up in your face. Literally all up in your face.
I actually love that because I think it's so important. Like, they are the ones that are setting the tone and the vibe for the day. So everyone that you're selecting, and just like when you're designing how your day is going to flow, right? Like finding the people that are going to give you like the most zen or like whatever the vibe is that you're going for. I think that that's super important.
Yeah, because I think if you know that you want to party and you want to have a good time, I think finding a hair and makeup or photo video or planner that also fits what you're looking for.
Right.
I would say you and I are very much on the side of we're going to get lit and have a great ass wedding. So that's the energy that we bring.
Right.
But if you're looking, I would say, not to say high class can't be lit.
Well, we're not, we wouldn't know.
I would.
No.
True.
We've been called a lot of things, but classy's not one of them.
Classy is not one of them.
We're like, what are classy weddings like?
I'm over here taking my shirt off at weddings. That's not classy.
I wonder
Let's
what
be real.
that's like.
I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't get weddings at Bel Air Club.
I think that classy can still be lit, but also I guess not everybody wants like
I'm
a
dead.
lit
Look
ass.
at Kyle's crying.
He can just do
Part
that.
one. Faucets. It's true though. It's true. But no, if the whatever the vibe is that you're looking for your wedding, absolutely find vendors that are also in that same genre, that same vibe, and having a more than just a quick phone call with them will help you decide.
Yeah.
And find that out because it can be very easy for people to not deceive, but like put on a face.
Yeah, or their website looks like this one thing, and then they're like a fucking.
Yeah, exactly. So referrals can always be a good place to go to make sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck when it comes to your vendors.
Because this shit is expensive, y'all.
It
It is expensive. So you're going to be putting out the money, like make sure that it's worth it. And I think that definitely starts with your vendor team. And I'll say, interestingly enough, I kind of put this question out onto the gram and asked my team of girls that work for me and just kind of was like trying to get some feedback because I have so many opinions, but turns out I don't know everything. But the number one thing that came back as far as like vendors to splurge on or like what to splurge on your wedding day was actually venue.
Which I would not think of at all.
Honestly, I didn't think of it either.
But it does, the more we think about it, it does make a lot of sense because I think, I don't know, I actually just spoke with a couple that is inquiring. Hopefully they book. But they said, oh, we're holding off on booking because we didn't realize how expensive florals were.
Right.
And I'm like, great. No, I totally respect and understand your budget. Just as a gentle reminder, florals last one day.
Yeah.
Your photos and your video will last a lifetime. But going back to what
That's
you were
true.
saying for your venue is some venues will include a lot of things that will end up saving you a ton of money later on down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. When you pick a venue that is maybe a little bit more expensive, but it is maybe all inclusive and has like a ton of rentals and, you know, or is really beautiful and has tons of greenery and florals and like you barely even need to bring in any decor. Maybe it includes catering and just is going to make your life so much easier because you're not sourcing out 19 other vendors for all these different things. Whatever it is, the venue, probably the biggest chunk of your budget really overall, more than likely. And then also can end up saving you money in other categories if you choose the right one.
Yeah. I do think something to just be mindful from what I've seen from other couples when they have a quote unquote all inclusive wedding venue is they will include like a day of, but not a planner.
Yeah.
So there's still the benefit, pros and cons of if you want to have a planner, we would highly suggest it if you have the budget and you don't want to spend all that time. Still get a planner. Sometimes they do include photo and video. That can be very because it may not be the vibe that you want, you know, and you don't really get to meet them. Sure, you can have a quick call, but you basically have already booked them at that point.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how long they've been shooting there, the type of, if it's light and airy or if it's dark and moody, or if they're just fun to be around for 8 to 10 hours, however long you're going to be there. So I think there's some things that you'll need to be cautious of if you are getting a venue that has a quote unquote all inclusive.
A lot included, and
just be careful.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with going for one of those more packaged, like cookie cutter kind of venues. Probably our listeners aren't those people as much because they're like looking at all of the different aspects of planning. Yeah. But like if you're just like wham bam, thank you, ma'am, I want to get this done, great option. Yeah. But if you are putting a little bit more thought into all these different elements that you're including from the vendors that you're booking to design to whatever, like you're probably not going to one of those venues.
Yeah.
But coordination planning is another thing that came up a lot from my Instagram question poll thing. I mean, a planner, a big expense, especially if you're hiring a full planner, like may seem not necessary, whatever. It is not 100% necessary, but can end up saving you so much time and money and grief.
And emotional drama.
And really, I mean, talk about not just making the day run smoother, but really making that whole process a lot smoother and easier. Because you're probably, I mean, the day is the day, but you might be planning this wedding for 12, 18 months.
Yes.
Like, fuck. Talk about bang for your buck.
That's a long ass time
Talk about bang for your buck. So, yes, but I would agree also flowers. I mean, oh my God, my florist friends are going to hate me, but like, as a planner, I literally throw in the garbage $10,000 worth of flowers at the end of the night, and it makes me
that hurts. That hurts.
It literally makes me want to cry. But I mean, and it's some people that's like their most important thing that they love so much, and they want gorgeous florals. But it is a little, to me, not the bang for your buck category. Sorry, that's gonna be controversial.
I will say, I should have. I wish I knew on the top of my head what it was, but there is a vendor or some vendors where they will repurpose, I guess, your florals, and it may not work anymore. And I know it was only in Orange County, but you were able to write off how much you spent on your florals. Oh,
because they donate them after or something?
They were donated after. Now, Grant, you're still spending the fucking money. Yeah. Okay? A write-off doesn't mean it was free $99. Yeah. No, that's not how it works.
That's not how write-offs work?
No. I just learned this, all right?
What's a write-off?
What the fuck is a write-off? Everybody, you run a business, write it off. Bitch, I still got to pay for this.
You just write it off.
Just write it off.
Yes, there are, I will say with florals, bang for your buck things to consider is what areas are going to be most highly photographed.
Yep.
because you're going to get more lasting images, right? So your ceremony, right? That's probably your most highly photographed area. Maybe you're doing your family photos in that spot too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you have like an altar moment, like really sink some money into that.
Yeah.
What can be repurposed? Maybe your arch gets repurposed back behind your sweetheart table after. So like, right? So we're getting the most bang for our buck for those photos.
Yeah.
Whereas like some people will do these really elaborate arrangements on like a welcome table or like your escort card table. Like, bitch, like someone's spending like 4 seconds there grabbing their escort card and walking away. Like no one is paying attention.
I'm just looking for my name.
Yeah.
Fuck, the flowers are actually in the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you're peeling apart the flowers. Literally.
Where's my name?
Yeah, absolutely. So like if you're, you know, kind of looking at those line item floral budgets, like pick the places that are going to get the most bang for your buck. And that also includes, I think, the guest table, the dining guest table.
Yeah,
Wait, sorry, it's my first.
Is it the entry table?
No, your
Are
dinner.
you talking about when
your
they're going
dinner,
into
I'm talking
the
about
reception?
your.
God damn, Allie.
I'm talking about your dinner table that you're actually sitting at. So you're
gotcha.
sitting at the ceremony for maybe 30 minutes.
Centerpieces.
Thank you. It's my first day. Centerpieces. You're sitting at the ceremony for maybe 30 minutes. Cocktail hour, you're fucking flitting around getting a cocktail. Like no one's noticing any florals there. You know, after that you're dancing. But the only other time really where you're sitting for an hour, hour and a half is at dinner.
Yep.
So if you are going to spend some money on florals, your centerpieces, it's a new term, is a really good place to kind of invest that money as well.
Yeah. Centerpieces. I love, and I think it's a pretty common practice, but like, wherever the altar is, they'll use those florals and bring them over to where the reception
repurposing
is.
wherever you can.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts on bouquets? Because I kind of feel like they're a waste.
I think bouquets actually, I feel like it's more of an emotional thing.
Yeah.
So I'm for them. I do like them.
You're pro bouquet.
I'm pro bouquet because
I've seen that from photo and video though, because
they
it
just
gives
don't know what to do with their hands. What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, it gives you a thing. It gives you a prop. A prop is nice when you're doing photo video.
Hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Like most of the time, grooms will always ask, "What do I do with my hands?" We don't really hear that question from the bride because the bride is typically either holding a bouquet or telling her specifically of like, just wrap around and hug each other, you know, like cuddle, whatever that looks like. Go ahead and do.
Grab her ass.
Yeah, grab her ass, lift her up, the whole shebang. You know what I mean? But no, I'm pro bouquet as long as it has some kind of purpose, and I feel like it just gives the bride like something to hold on to, like a fidget spinner, but it's a bouquet. they have something.
The wedding version of a fidget spinner
is a bouquet. Yes,
I think all of our florist friends should put that on their website.
Yeah, for real. Or I have also seen like the sentimental of like people that have passed away and they have like the pendants or something on it.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I feel like for video purposes, I feel like I enjoy it more when I see a chair designated to a person, not necessarily a small pendant that most likely will not make your film.
No, that's just a personal thing for somebody. We're talking about like a charm on a bouquet of like somebody.
Yes.
When you say pendant, it's a little confusing.
What's a pendant then?
I don't really.
It's not a centerpiece.
Like a. This is a vocabulary lesson with Weddings Uncensored today. We have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Last episode's word was, no, don't say it. Don't say it. Heteronormative.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's right.
That's a good, you need to use that vocabulary word 12 times and then it will be a part of your.
I've used it at least 6. Okay. So we're halfway there.
Okay, perfect.
But going back to bang for your buck, florals, I'm good for the bouquet.
Okay.
Long story short.
We're pro bouquet. And then I would say, I mean, again, with my Instagramming, people responded with photo and video, definitely being the thing that they were happy that they splurged on.
Yeah.
Happy that they had after. It is the only thing that will last. And outlive you. Outlive your day, outlive even, your life, something that's passed down from generation to generation.
And I think too, if you are sentimental, it will be very important to you. I also think, I don't know, on the sentimental side, for the spouse who is not, I think you will learn you will be sentimental about certain things after, unfortunately, people pass away.
Yeah.
Because for my example, we didn't have a videographer at our wedding.
Yeah.
And I still have the memory of the matriarch of our family at the wedding, and she ended up passing away a couple of years later, but like we didn't have one photo, good photo.
Yeah.
We didn't have any video moments, which is kind of like why I almost always include like the raw stuff for most of the collections. Is like I remember dancing with her.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone has like an actual video of her.
Yeah.
Period. You know, so it's just, again, it's just like I didn't consider myself sentimental, but 100%. It's my job now. So, of course, I regret not having
and now
one.
you're a softie. You got babies and shit. That turned you into a sentimental guy.
Sure. But I was doing video before we had kids. So,
I know. But I mean, absolutely. Those are the things that you remember. You're like, God, how do we not get one good photo of grandma or whatever? So, I think from your overall experience, definitely like those are the biggies, would you say?
Yeah, I would say so.
The biggies with planning and on the day. And so kind of on the flip side is like your guest experience, right? And like the number one question that we get asked all the time is like, how do we have a fun wedding? How do we have a memorable wedding? Like what makes things unique? But like maybe I don't have $1 million to spend on something super over the top. One of the questions I asked was like, what's the most memorable thing you've seen at a wedding? That I asked the gram. And someone came back with like a monogrammed ice luge with caviar. And I'm like, for sure that was memorable.
Maybe for you.
Yeah. But like dope, right? Like fucking cool.
Sick.
But not reasonable for the average person. Synchronized swimmers, like all these really amazing performances, Snoop Dogg impersonators. Like there's so many wild, cool things that I've seen at weddings, but like that's not reasonable.
Oh, what was there was the girl at I think it was the first wedding you and I ever worked at together. The girl that was on the pole and
she
the
was
circle.
An aerialist.
Yes. Crazy. That was awesome though.
So cool.
Yeah, but not a bang for your buck moment. It was just awesome.
Yeah. She actually does a thing where like she'll pour champagne like from the hoop upside down.
Can you show this camera?
Like this. Well, not into her own mouth, into somebody else's. That would be like very sexual. I mean, I would say like a really cool, memorable like performance or something on a smaller scale would be just like integrating live music into the day somehow versus just having a DJ.
Yep.
Bands are like really fucking expensive. Like we're talking 15, 20 grand versus like $2,000 for your DJ. So like that's a huge bang for your buck difference.
Yeah.
But having a guitarist for cocktail hour or a lot of DJs these days are integrating a horn or like a drum into their DJ performance during dancing. So like that's memorable and cool without being like, fuck, champagne luge caviar expensive.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I do think there's still, even with that topic in particular, with the musician can still range in pricing.
Yeah.
Can still range. Because I know some that are like, maybe they're newer and they have a little speaker and they can kill it. They just they're newer to the wedding side, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're usually a little cheaper. Or a friend or a cousin or a family member. Like you can ask them of like, hey, would you be down to do
Oh my
this?
God. Yes. Again, like so adding a musician, great, costs some dollars. But if you have a talented friend or something that can like do a special performance, talk about memorable.
Yeah.
I mean, people love it.
Yeah.
All the tears.
Yeah.
All the tears.
What was it? Stephanie's uncle actually played guitar to her walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Totally.
Literally priceless and priceless.
Free.
And priceless. Like definitely a moment that at least Stephanie and I and her uncle will never forget. You know, so for sure.
I like that.
Reach out to some family friends or whoever to see if they do something really cool, why not ask? You know, you might still want to pay them. Yeah. But if they offer to do it for free and you still at least offer to pay and they still say no, take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
For sure. Great. Conversation over. Yeah. No, I think that's really good. And another free 99 situation that I've seen at a few weddings that's so like memorable is writing a handwritten like note or like a thank you card or some kind of like small message to every single guest. I've seen it on like as an escort display, right? So you like are going to get your table and it's like your name, but then there's like a actual note or sitting already at your seat or like there's different ways you can kind of distribute it.
Yeah.
But costs no money.
Yeah.
But every single guest is like, oh my God, I can't believe that they took the time. And just make you feel special, make you feel like you went and did a thing. It's really nice.
Yeah, and I would even go as to say, if I were a wedding guest and you gave me a handwritten note, I would be okay if I got chicken instead of steak.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna forgive some other wedding issues because you're like. Yeah.
I'm going to forgive because I think the time that you spent dedicating to me being there, not just sending the invite, right? But I think the time that you spent to dedicate towards me and my guest or whoever it is, I think that would be really special.
Yeah, I like that. Well, and the one vendor category that did not pop up in my polling was catering, which I was also kind of surprised about. But
makes a perfect segue right there.
It did not show up, was catering. And I am a food person, borderline foodie, if you will. And I think that food is great. I think food is great. I think that
I like food. I like food.
I don't want to minimize the importance of having a good caterer in the sense that like we need to feed people hot food. It needs to be on time. There needs to be plenty of it, right? Like all of those things are super important. Service is important.
Yes.
But do people really remember the chicken or the steak? Like, are they going to go home like, thinking about that?
Yeah.
They're probably going to remember uncle playing guitar or singing you down the aisle way more than they're going to remember even a really delicious steak at the end of the day.
Yeah. Actually, bang for your buck moment. Okay. As I ask for more, what is wrong with me?
Was that so loud in your ears?
No, actually I had the volume turned down, so I was safe. Was it loud for yours?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have turned. Wait. Listen. Oh, I should have turned it up.
Oh, I can't do it again. I can't burp on command.
You can't?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a lot of talents, but that's not
one of them. Okay. No, what I was saying was bang for your buck moment in regards to catering. One wedding in particular, it was Nikki and Kai was the couple. It was at the San Diego Children's Museum. The venue did not offer food, but they brought in a vendor that had custom pizzas. Mm-hmm. So they brought in the actual, I don't know, what's the thing called?
The wood-fired oven. They bake everything on site. Yeah,
but there was
awesome.
6 different types of pizza. Mm-hmm. It was delicious.
Yeah, and people love it.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
Per person. Including the toppings, the different types, all sorts of stuff.
And it's fun. People get to a wedding and they're like, there's pizza?
Oh, hell yeah.
Fucking dope.
Yes. And it was cold outside, so you had fresh, warm pizza, and they were just constantly just whipping them out.
Absolutely, I think having a fun experience, and I'll piggyback on that with dessert.
Ooh,
so I mean, a beautiful cake is beautiful, and it's like if you really want to have that cake cutting moment, I personally think it's like for the birds, but whatever.
We do not like the cake cutting. We've said it on multiple episodes.
Yeah, but if you are gonna have dessert, which you should do something for dessert, I think that could be a good place to do a bang for your buck moment. Is like a vendor that will come in and be frying churros or donuts on site, or making ice cream sandwiches, or boba, gelato, whatever it is. That is going to be a lot more memorable for guests.
Yeah.
And be like a cool experience at the wedding.
I think too, incorporating something that is significant to you two.
Yeah.
You two getting married. So it was actually Tiffany and Justin at eBell. Mm-hmm. They really liked, I can't remember, it was some kind of certain brand of popsicle or a vendor specifically.
Yeah.
And they brought them to the wedding.
Yeah.
And so people were like, what is this? Or at least I was. I didn't know what it was. And oh, this is our favorite
Their favorite thing to share with people, which is really cool.
And so it now, obviously now I can think back and I'm like, oh, I know what they like because they had it at their goddamn wedding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Or your favorite dessert, or I've seen it where it's a couple that say they live here in Southern California, but they're from Minnesota and they they brought in these like nuts that were like made from their hometown or whatever, something like that. So it's like representing where you're from or something kind of cool like that. Yeah.
And
that's a good one.
Sticking on the whole dessert thing or post ceremony is the favors. I am not a big fan of favors, but if you are going to do them, I would just say it may not be a bang for your buck moment, but at least make it sentimental. Don't make it something stupid.
Yeah, don't get like monogrammed M&Ms.
No, dumb.
It's dumb. That's a real waste. For me, favors are dumb. People don't. It's another thing that I actually throw away at the end of the night. Like guests don't take it. Like they'll just leave it, especially if it's something really dumb.
I have seen it's like a favor table. Two things I have seen that I actually did like, which I don't think was too expensive, is they got a bunch of little glass bottles and they put in olive oil. It was an Italian wedding.
Okay.
And so they put olive oil and they just had their name. They wrote down their names on it. Yeah. And I don't think that cost too much money.
Yeah.
But it was really cute.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I'm thinking of is they bought Monsters because they wanted to party all day.
That's awesome.
So they had a decorated, not
but
decorated.
It was like a moment. Table. It was like a cool monster table.
Go get one.
That's cute.
Like it was also, I guess, kind of part of like a dessert section. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was like, you're gonna need this. Please take it.
I like that. That's cool. Yeah. There's a way to make it the non-cheese, but I do find in general, like the over the top personalized items, right? Like the cocktail napkins with your initials on it and blah, blah, blah. Like it's cute, but we're talking about bang for your buck.
That's
like,
not a bang for your buck moment.
It's not it. All the signage, all the paper goods, the things that are going to go in the trash, not your bang for your buck moment. Yeah. It's just not.
Yeah. Especially for the guest experience specifically. And I think just in general for the bang for your buck, that is becoming more of an issue, at least for me, of, you don't want raw footage, but you spent $2,000 on whatever this thing is over here. Yeah. And you don't want something that's going to literally be here longer than all of your great grandkids. No, I'm not okay with this. Yeah.
I know.
That's my hot take.
That's a hot take. I know. Trust me, we could really get into that. Like I just did a wedding a couple weeks ago that had these like really elaborate ice sculptures, and like people were like, "Whoa, ice sculptures."
Great.
For 4 seconds.
Drinks?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Where are the drinks?
But yeah.
Where's the snacks?
But I think the one thing that both of us probably thought of first when we were talking about vendors and bang for your buck, even more than our own categories, even more than planning and video and photo, DJ.
100%.
Yes. I think that will be the ultimate bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Vendor. Creating an experience for you, creating an experience for your guests, making the day flow, and then getting
lit.
Lady Titty.
Get on what?
Get your Liddy Titty.
Liddy?
Get your monster, get on the fucking dance floor, and let's get Liddy Titty.
I have never heard Liddy Titty.
Oh my God, another new vocabulary word for today.
That's not vocabulary.
It's not vocabulary. Is that a vocabulary, listeners?
That's not in Webster's. It's not vocabulary. Liddy Titty. Liddy. What does that mean?
It just means lit. Like we're getting litty titty. Get litty. Whatever. Anyways. So I just think that a good DJ, not only like, not even talking about dancing, like obviously if you want to have a good party and all of that, but the emceeing, the flow of the day, the like making sure there's no dead air, like the ceremony sound, the quality of the sound being good, the microphones working when you're giving a toast. Like there are a million little aspects of the day that the DJ is responsible for. Yeah. So please do not cheap out. Please do not think that a Spotify playlist will do the same thing as a DJ, because it won't.
It won't. It 100% won't. And I know like even our DJs might get upset at this, but if I'm paying you to be there for the ceremony, I'm paying you to be there and DJ for the reception, I don't want you just mixing only at the reception.
Or you want DJing the whole time. I want you
mixing the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Now, Grant, maybe not the ceremony. That
He's going rogue. He's going rogue.
I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, wait, ceremony, I would be okay. Of like, okay, you have a set playlist, and because no one's trying to vibe out, you know.
Yeah.
But during a cocktail hour or at a bar, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to feel the buzz. You know, I want to have a good time. I want to listen to music and not just like wait for something to just turn off and then turn back on.
Yeah.
So, but yes, DJ, 1,000,000,000% bang for your buck moment. I think if you want to go the extra mile too, is if the DJ does not already MC themselves, is to hire an MC.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
100%. You will not regret it. Ask, and it's maybe not super popular because according to Allie, she doesn't really plan a lot of weddings.
I don't do a lot of weddings with MCs. Well, no, I just think it's, again, if you're going down the list of vendors that you have to hire, right? Yeah. It's not something that you have to have. So it's just like you're prioritizing and it's not like you don't need to have it.
Sure.
And some people don't know the value of it, but you can refer back to our episode on MCs if you want to know more about it.
That's right.
But yeah, that is super vital for the flow and the overall litty tittiness.
Litty titty.
I think that was pretty good.
I'm keeping
bang. I think that was a pretty good bang for your buck breakdown. What do you think, Kyle?
I think it was fantastic. So just to summarize. Wait, why'd you stop?
Sorry, it's too much. These things get out of control. It's like the centrifugal. You can't have it go.
It's a centrifugal force.
More. Can you tell we've had a little bit of champagne today?
Just a little
viewers?
bit. It's okay.
I think we did it.
Just to summarize, though. Summarize. No, I think it's important for us to summarize. We talked a lot. We talked about a lot. So I think remembering bang for your buck, 2 categories. One for your own experience. Your as in the couple. Mm-hmm. Your experience. So planning.
Yeah.
Photo, video. Florals. We talked about the importance of like where to dedicate the florals if you want to be specific.
Yeah.
Was there anything else specifically for the couples?
Just making sure that all your vendors, hair and makeup, making sure that every vendor fits the vibe that you are going for your day.
Exactly.
And that you want to be around them.
Perfect. And then for guest experience, we're talking about memorable moments, handwritten notes.
Yep.
You will not get anyone upset that you wrote them a handwritten note.
Yeah.
Now, if it's only one sentence, they might get a little upset because they're going to look over and they see you wrote a paragraph for their TT over here. A DJ or an MC if you have the budget for it. And did we want to say the photo booth or Polaroid? We didn't talk about that.
I think a photo booth is still a thing. Like they've been around for a while. And
it's not to hold in hand.
It's not out of trend. Yeah, I would say if we're talking about or just burped. If we're talking this champagne, guys, I'm sorry. If we're talking about like favors and guest experience and all that kind of stuff, something that the guests can do and enjoy at the wedding, but that they can also take home with them is pretty cool. Yeah. So photo booths, it might seem like they're getting passe. They've been around for a while and like most places have them. But I will say when it's there, people still go ham on that shit and really like it. Yeah. And then there's alternatives. The cheaper alternative would be the Polaroid setup. So like a DIY kind of a photo booth, still very popular. Guests still really like it. And it gives you something, gives them something. Yeah. And then there's like more expensive options too. Like they actually have like watercolor artists that will come and paint portraits. Or if for our Disney fans out there, they have these like silhouette artists. Have you done that at Disney?
I haven't.
You know what I'm talking about though, right? It's like a thing. So like any kind of cool experience that the guests can have at the wedding and then take home with them, I think is pretty cool.
Sounds good. Perfect. Yeah. I think we summed everything up. I think that was a great bang for your buck. We will be broadcasting or showing or not reviewing.
What?
God damn.
We'll be at your eyes and ears every week with more info.
Every Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Peace.